Okay, this is John Lutz again, and we're replacing the padding around the Propel trampoline. So, just got mine in the mail. It took about a week or two to come in. Not cheap, but it's worth buying that instead of buying the whole unit all over again because it's still in pretty good shape. So, first thing I'm doing is taking off the nuts and bolts to the risers here. Just a screw here and a nut on the other end is all it is. And I'm taking out all the top wire so I can take the netting off. So this will make us a lot easier to pull this off, put it on, put these rods back down. So as you can see, it's deteriorated. You do go through these things quite a bit. And I do plan on putting some pool noodles over top of the springs because the kids do complain about the springs even when it was nice padded. So that's what I'm going to do too. All right, just to show you what I meant about taking these poles out, the little riser things. So they come right out of these holes here, okay? And of course, they obviously go back in. And you can see it's got a little pinhole for it so that you know that the nut and bolt goes through it pretty easy, okay? So this is removing this ratty old Propel cover thing here, and we're gonna replace it with a brand new one I got sitting over there. And let's get going. All right, I got to finish taking the last couple out. Okay, a few things I forgot to mention. Make sure you lay, the faces down inside the trampoline the way I got here. Secondly, these things have little hoops, like holsters that these springs go through. How do you remove those springs? Well, yet another thing that I forgot to tell you about. This little spring puller here. Okay, and it came with your trampoline kit, so if you got a brand new one, do not throw it away because you can use this again. Okay, if you don't have one of these, take a coat hanger, bend it up, get yourself a little pull, make a little loop here and pull it. It's not as hard as you think. It's just a matter of pulling the spring up and out like so. Okay, it's not that hard, but you got to remember that. All right, let's get going. Okay, out with the old, in with the new. Okay, now they have the little holsters on the brand new ones too, so you're gonna have to match it up. But I try to do, and they recommend you do, is make sure the Propel is towards the opening of where you normally climb, and that's where we have a little makeshift ladder here that we have. So that's about where the Propel name is gonna go. Another thing you might want to do that I think they may have recommended, if not, this is something you should do, is tie your trampoline down. Now, we do get a lot of winds in this area, even though I'm fenced off, I do get a lot of winds. And because I have a pool, I don't want it to end up in the pool. So I use some tie-down straps that you usually use for tying down equipment or lumber or whatever you got in the back. It's not that hard to do. So just make sure that you want to keep your kids, your trampoline, and your yard safe, and even your neighbors. So another thing I wanted to show you. Okay, so here's all the tools that I used. Of course, the spring tool, which I just showed you. I used a ratchet to make things a little bit quicker. And it is a 10mm socket. The nightmare of all mechanics, because the 10mm socket seems to be the one that disappears the most. And of course, the drill. You don't have to use it really high speed, but enough to get that screw off, because they do have Phillips head screws with a nut on the back, and that's what's holding all those poles in. So let's get back at putting these together. Once I get them all back together, I'm going to cut up some of them pool noodles like you see over yonder, and we're going to slide them over top of those springs. So I'll show you the finished result when we're done. All right, now I got it all wrapped around the trampoline and the right way. The Propel was facing you this way. Another thing that I didn't mention, but should be self-explanatory to most people, if you don't, that's okay. Just trying to help you here. They got holes all around where these poles are supposed to go, so shouldn't have any question on how they line up, okay? So, and that's all around where these poles used to sit. That's exactly where they're going to sit again. So when you're done with this, getting the poles all in, you'll flap this back down. It'll look nice. So let's get to it. Okay, I'm just showing you reverse mode on the little holsters with the spring. I've already got it in, as you can see, and I got my tool hooked up. And you just go drag it up to, if I can get get this in here where you can see it, to said hole. See how it sits in there? Okay. And just let it out. Okay. Might have to. There we go. It's in there good now. So, and that's simple and easy. It's not as hard as you think it is to do. So it might be a little intimidating for some, but you can do this yourself. If not, give me a call. I do handyman work. Okay, here's another one. Just gonna slide it through that hole. It's not as hard. Slide it through the hole. And it sticks out. In reality, I mean, it's not that far from the hole, see? But you do need a little tool, which I'm grabbing now. Just bear with me. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. And fish hook that bad boy. Get it over to the hole. Voila. Nice and easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as they say. I got my boy taking apart the basketball hoop that we've got to come with this, and it's been junk since day one. I think it lasted maybe 3 or 4 days with this thing, and it's just been an eyesore ever since. So I wouldn't recommend getting the basketball thing. It's kind of a waste of money. But we're removing it now because it hasn't really done any good for anybody. So we're taking it off. Well, actually, he's taking it off. Gotta put him to work, you know. He's too lazy to do anything. You're gonna clean your room after this, right?
No, Mom's this one.
I love you, buddy. Okay, it's on there. Got all the risers back up, tightened up. I took that basketball hoop thing off, obviously. And I'm just now trying out these pool noodle things. I think mine's a little too thick. But as you can see, that's what all I'm doing, is putting them over the springs. I cut it to length, and then I slice it down the center here, and then I'm going to put it on the springs. I'll just do it till these pool noodles are done, just to see what it looks like. Okay, this is the finished product of the Propel trampoline cover. It goes around the side, and all I did was pull the skirt down to where it looks nice. So up here I have a problem. Well, no, I can't say a problem, but may continue to be a problem. This is where I got the pool noodle covers on it, and it doesn't want to sit very well on the front here, so I have a feeling it's going to come back up. So we'll give it a try after a couple jumps, and if it comes up, I'll just take them off. It's not like I wasted any money on it. You know, these are old pool noodles. I think the pool noodles I have here are just a little big for it is all. But other than that, great product, and it's lasted us a while. Of course, I'm going to get more stuff for the outside here. Maybe pool noodles would be too small for that, but I'm going to put some more padding around these poles because they don't last for anything. I think it lasted 1 season, and then they got all ripped up the way they look right now. So who knows? Maybe I'll use some of the plumbing pipe cover. So, I don't know. There it is.
John,
Pool